Thank you. The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Illinois, Ms. Kelly, for 5 minutes to ask your question.
Thank you, Chair Hudson and Ranking Member Matsui for holding this morning's hearing, and thanks to our witnesses for participating. This past year, the Trump administration has threatened platforms' ability to responsibly moderate content by unlawfully weaponizing independent agencies such as the FCC. Rather than protecting consumers or fostering competition, this agency is now being weaponized in a calculated effort to sabotage the decisions of private entities and undermine online free speech. The FCC has repeatedly claimed to oppose censorship, yet its recent posture towards Section 230 of the Communications Act reflects a sharp departure from the agency's traditional scope and legal limits. That inconsistency undermines public trust and places us in dangerous times. Chairman Carr, in Project 2025, you wrote the chapter on the FCC, in which you called for revisions to parts of Section 230 to counter what you saw as censorship and bias against conservatives by large technology companies. Chairman Carr, in Project 2025, you wrote the FCC has authority to interpret that law and thus provide courts with guidance about the proper application of the statutory language. Your writing is also consistent with the FCC's General Counsel's 2020 legal opinion that the FCC has the authority to interpret Section 230. But there is no language in Section 230 directing the FCC to enforce this law. And even if the language is ambiguous, in June 2024, the Supreme Court overturned Chevron deference and stated that courts need not and may not defer to an agency's interpretation of the law simply because a statute is ambiguous. So, Chairman Carr, just yes or no, does the FCC still have the legal authority to interpret Section 230? Just yes or no, please.
Section 230 is in the Communications Act, and there's provisions of the Communications Act that give us authority to interpret those terms. And so, yeah, the FCC, generally speaking, has authority to implement provisions of the Communications Act.
Thank you for your answer. Commissioner Gomez, do you agree with Chairman Carr that the FCC has the authority to interpret Section 230? Last I checked, the FCC's website says the FCC does not regulate online content. Is that no longer correct?
Thank you for that question. Yes, I disagree. I don't think we have authority to we definitely don't have authority to regulate online content, and we don't want to under the First Amendment.
Thank you for your response. It is unfortunate that Mr. Carr is now determined to sit back and be America's speech police. If Brendan Carr, who tweeted, whether it's the government shutting down speech or a private platform doing it, these decisions are not made by an oracle of truth. That I wish would stand up. Thank you to the witnesses, and I yield back.
Thank you. The chair now recognizes